A quick heads up. This series will be focused on an Amazonian plant medicine called Rapé, though Rapé is currently legal in the United States. We highly recommend that everyone do further research and consult a medical professional before beginning any new practice. Now, as a millennial growing up in the United States, I distinctly recall the lasting effects of the war on drugs and anti-tobacco campaigns like Truth. These hip and youthful commercials seriously got to me, instilling an umbrella of distrust and fear of tobacco as a whole, rather than seeing it as a complex plant medicine with deep indigenous roots that I shared. I learned tobacco to be analogous with smokable tobacco products and a cocktail of harmful carcinogenic chemicals that emphasize the effects of nicotine. And though I learned a variety of different tobacco products from a young age, I'm talking chewing tobacco, cigars, hookah, etc., it wasn't until I even graduated high school that I heard the term snuff. This was after seeing it through an imperialized lens, but of course, in the form of Victorian snuff box collections from China, from Europe, in various different museums like the Met in New York. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. As an art history minor, I must take a quick aside to say this. Snuff boxes slap pretty hard. They are absolutely one of my favorite useful art artifacts, reflecting global aesthetics from the opulence of the Qing dynasty to the pug standum of Dresden, Germany. The colonization of sacred tobacco, however, does not slap. Snuff, or powdered tobacco primarily taken by nasal inhalation, is believed to have been brought to Europe from South America, and eventually to Asia and Africa by way of invading Spanish colonizers, with even earlier observations in the 15th century. So in the 15th century, I don't know what to call them, Italian imperialist invaders. That doesn't sound harsh enough to me, but I don't know. Actually observed practice amongst indigenous Caribbean peoples. In this video series, we sit with our friends at the Sabina Project to unmask this seemingly dangerous plant, one which many of us grew up seeing as an evil forbidden fruit of peer pressures everywhere, for what it actually once was. A grandfather medicine of the Amazon we call sacred tobacco. And we'll learn its uses pertinent to life today in the form of creating your own Rapéh practice.
Hey, I'm Charlotte.
I'm Dre.
And we are the Sabina Project. The Sabina Project is a Black-led platform for psychedelic education, legal ceremony, and integration. Our mission is to return reverence to sacred earth medicine ways and to lean on ancestral practice as a form of harm reduction for modern journeyers. You can follow us on Instagram at the Sabina Project, and you can check out our longer video on sacred tobacco. The link is in the description.
Charlotte, Dre, thank you so much for joining us. Just a quick recap before we start out. Can y'all tell me what or who Rapé is?
So, who is grandfather? Grandfather is like your ideal of what a grandfather would be. Be warm, protective, but grounding, right? And sometimes when you're communicated in a way that is not serving you, grandfather says, hey, you gotta love yourself. Let's get grounded, let's love ourselves. That's grandfather.
Rapé is different from snuff, though the application is similar. Rapé is made from Nicotiana rustica, which is a form of tobacco from the Amazon region. Mm-hmm. The plant is then picked and dried with great intention and fermented and blended with other seeds, plants, and herbs from the region as well.
Yeah, and the entire process, the grandmas, the abuelas, they're praying over this medicine, this very sacred medicine, as they're making and grinding the entire process. It's a very lengthy process. Whereas snuff, Snuff is like a medicine that I believe is used for recreational purposes. It's got tons of chemicals in it that are unhealthy for you. And, it's not taken in an intentional way, right? It's usually, similar to alcohol. Like, it's something that we consume to escape from, like, a connection with something. Well, this medicine, Rapé, is about getting connected with yourself, falling deeply in love with yourself and the rest of us.
Yeah, and you can learn more about Rapé in the first video in this series, so you should totally check that out.
What are some reasons that folks might have for starting a Rapé practice?
Well, you're already here, right? You're watching this video, which it clearly is a representative of grandfather calling you, and now it's time for you to answer the call for this medicine. Think about all the anxiety and depression that it's the number one mental concern we have in our society, and what a great way to address those concerns with a medicine that is gentle and respectful, has no contraindications, and it has no addictive qualities to it, and is a great entryway to these sacred and very powerful traditions.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it's such a wonderful medicine for learning how to incorporate a medicine practice into your daily rituals.
Yeah, sure.
It's a medicine that is used in ceremony, but also a medicine that you can begin to build a practice with on your own.
Yeah.
What are the tools of Rapé, and how do we acquire the medicine?
So if you're starting a Rapé practice, you're going to need some tools and some Rapé. So the first tool that you'll need is a Kuripe. This is the medicine tool that you will use to apply medicine for yourself. We do offer Kuripes on the Sabina Project website. We also send medicine packages for all the people who participate in our virtual Rapé ceremonies on the annual solstices and equinoxes. So that could be a place to begin your relationship is in ceremony with us. And always when you are thinking about sourcing medicine or medicine tools, you want to think about sustainability and reciprocity.
Absolutely.
And so thinking about making sure that the supply chain is not far removed from the communities that make the medicine and the medicine tools as well, making sure that those are coming from places where this medicine originates or folks who have strong connections with the medicine.
And also, like, we want, all these practices, there's a tradition, but we're also evolving, right? So, traditionally we use monkey bone, right? But our monkey allies probably prefer if we use bamboo or other sustainable products. So, consider that in your choices too. It's nice to get the really pretty ones with the monkey bones, but imagine how you would feel if you're a monkey. Actually, monkey is our relation, right? So
our close relation.
Right, exactly. So let's use bamboo, or there's sustainable products. You could make kuripes out of all kinds of different things. So this one is wooden. One is with bamboo, and they come in all different types of shape sizes. They're really beautiful. And then this is the tepi. Now this is for administering this medicine to another practitioner. Now, what I want to say about this is administering medicine comes with a great responsibility. So you need to develop a practice on your own with the medicine and then ask for permission from the medicine before you begin to serve this medicine to anybody else. So this is one of my favorite blends of Rapé, and it's from the Yawanawa tribe. It's Minta, and so it has mint in it. It's very cooling, very relaxing. It's also great for overeating, and it's one of my favorite medicines. Great for you about to take a big speech and you want to just bring things down, got some heavy energy. This is a great medicine to use. One of my favorite. Another one is with mugwort. So I have one over here that has mugwort in it. Great for your dream time when you're going to take just before, about 15 minutes before you go to bed. Sit with your medicine, do a meditation or prayer, and have a beautiful night's sleep with lots of beautiful dreams.
We will include a link in the description for ethical and sustainable source for Rapé medicine.
Yeah.
So for a lot of you watching this video, I'm sure you're wondering how you can start your own practice with Rapé, and I'm really excited to invite you into my practice with Rapé. in the next.
Now, it's one thing to sit with these medicines, but it's a whole other thing to integrate their lessons into our lives, obviously. What are some key tips of advice that y'all have for integration?
Great question.
So the first piece of advice that comes to me is these 3 words: relax, release, and allow. Really surrender to this medicine so that you can hear the subtleness and understand the name that you chose before your parents were born. It's a privilege to be in this practice and really connect with it, and then commune with other practitioners who also have shared experiences. So come to our integration circles every first and third Sunday, where you can talk with other practitioners, share experiences with this sacred medicine.
Like Dre said earlier, Rapé is grandfather medicine, and so it can be gentle and it can also be stern when you need it.
Right.
I think for me, in my practice, it's really helped lift a lot of the fog and bring me deeper clarity so that I'm able to listen to those messages and those insights as they come up. And then I think one of the most important things for integration is like trusting those insights as they do come up and using them throughout your daily life to improve how you walk through the world. And Dre said this earlier, that Rapé is grandfather medicine, which means it's gentle, it's loving, but it can be stern when you need that little bit of a reminder. And I think for me, what's been so beautiful about building this practice is that Rapé helps lift this sort of fog that we all carry around, whether that's from anxiety or depression or just the stress of modern life. And it allows that fog to sort of clear so that you can listen deeply to your inner spirit guide and really begin to trust those insights and find ways to incorporate them into your daily life so that you can be in better relationship with yourself, better relationship with others, and better relationship with the land.
Right.
Thank you both so much again for joining us today. Aside from watching the other videos in this series, what are some further steps that folks can take towards a Rapé practice with the Sabina Project?
So if you're watching this video, you're feeling called to sit with Rapé, we would love for you to join us in a virtual ceremony. We will send you a medicine package that includes a Kuripe and a Rapé blend chosen specifically for the intention of that ceremony. Those ceremonies happen on every solstice and equinox of the year. You can also join us for monthly workshops, integration circles, and grab merch from our shop. 10% of all of the merch proceeds go to our mutual ceremony fund for BIPOC journeyers.
And that mutual ceremony fund is really important. Lots of folks don't have the privilege to do these medicines financially. It's not accessible. You can really help out with that. So support that as well.
And we hope that you'll also follow us along on Instagram at the Sabina Project. If you are interested in learning more about Rapé, you can check out a free video on the Sabina Project website called Grounding with Sacred Tobacco.
Thank you for watching this second video in our Rapé series. If you dug this video, please consider shooting it to a curious friend and subscribing for more. Look out for the other videos in this series, and don't forget to keep it trippy.